a Wikividi Documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Christine Elliott. Christine Janice Elliott is a Canadian politician in Ontario who was a candidate for the 2018 Ontario Progressive Conservative Party leadership race. Elliott is the widow of former Canadian Minister of Finance Jim Flaherty under former Conservative Prime Minister Stephen Harper. She served as Ontario PC Party Deputy Leader from 2009 to 2015 under Tim Hudak. She was a Progressive Conservative member in the Legislative Assembly of Ontario from 2006 to 2015. She represented the ridings of Whitby, Ajax, and Whitby, Oshawa, east of Toronto. Elliott was a candidate in the 2009 Progressive Conservative leadership election, and came in third place behind winner Tim Hudak and runner-up Frank Cleese. She was appointed as the party's deputy leader in 2009. She was a candidate for 2015 leadership election, but lost to federal MP Patrick Brown. Following her second loss, Elliott was appointed as Ontario's first patient ombudsman by then Ontario Minister of Health and Long-Term Care Eric Hoskins. On February 1, 2018, she launched her third bid for the leadership of the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario, which was triggered by the resignation of Patrick Brown on January 25 following sexual misconduct allegations. On March 10, Elliott narrowly lost to Doug Ford on the third ballot with 49.4% of allocated points. Elliott had initially refused to concede to Ford, citing serious irregularities in the race, and vowed to investigate the extent of this discrepancy. The day after the vote results were announced, she conceded to Ford. Background: Elliott was born in Oshawa and grew up in Whitby. She attended the University of Western Ontario, where she received her Honours Bachelor of Arts degree in History. She graduated from Western Law School and received her Bachelor of Laws degree in 1978. She was called to the Ontario Bar in 1980. She started off her career as a bank auditor for one of Canada's largest banks. She was a founding member and partner of the Whitby law firm Flaherty Dow Elliott and McCarthy, where she practiced in real estate, corporate/commercial, and estate law. Elliott received Whitby's Peter Perry Award, an annual recognition of Whitby's outstanding citizen. Prior to that, she became a Rotary International Paul Harris Fellow in recognition of her pro bono legal work. She is the co-founder and director of the Abilities Center, a director and past chair of Grandview Children's Center, and a director of the Lakeridge Health Whitby Foundation. She was board president of the Durham Mental Health Services and was recognized when it named one of their group homes in her honor. She is a director of Legacy Private Trust, and has been a director of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. Elliott was married to former Finance Minister Jim Flaherty until his death on April 10, 2014. She lived in Whitby with her triplet sons John, Galen, and Quinn until 2015, when she moved to Toronto to be closer to her job as patient ombudsman. Her son Galen used to work for Doug Ford, then Etobicoke councillor. Elliott and Flaherty have both championed issues surrounding disabled children. Their son, John, has a disability. 2018 Ontario PC Party leadership bid. Elliott officially announced she was running for leadership on February 1, 2018, via Twitter, to replace Patrick Brown, who had resigned as leader after sexual misconduct allegations were made against him. Elliott's campaign slogan is, "Ready Now," and her leadership campaign has focused on her experience compared to the other candidates. Elliott has stated she supports the People's Guarantee, with the exception of a carbon tax, which she opposes. Elliott has the most support from the Ontario PC caucus of any leadership candidate with 13. On March 10, Elliott on the third ballot lost the leadership to Doug Ford. Elliott had the most votes and had won the most ridings, but did not have the most points and therefore came in second. Elliott has since refused to concede to Ford, citing serious irregularities in the race, and vows to investigate the extent of this discrepancy. However, on the next day, she conceded to Ford. Career. In March 2006, Elliott ran successfully as the Progressive Conservative candidate in the provincial riding of Whitby, Ajax in a by-election, replacing her husband, who was elected to the federal parliament. She was re-elected in 2007 in the redistributed riding of Whitby, Oshawa. She was re-elected in 2011 and 2014. PC party leadership bids of 2009 and 2015 and deputy leader. On April 4, 2009, Elliott entered the leadership race to succeed former leader John Tory. She portrayed herself as a centrist alternative to her three right-wing opponents, Hudak, Cleese, and Randy Hillier. During her announcement, she criticized her main rival Tim Hudak. She said, "He really wants to replicate some of the campaigns and some of the solutions that worked in the 1990s. What happened in 1995 is not the solution for 2009. She said that as leader, she would push for a sector-by-sector innovation strategy for Ontario. She also said that she supports nuclear energy and that the Liberals' green energy plan was insufficient for Ontario's needs. At the leadership convention on June 28, 2009, in Markham, Ontario, Elliott placed third in the results behind winner Tim Hudak and runner-up Frank Cleese. Elliott became the party's deputy leader from 2009 until her resignation in 2015. On June 25, 2014, Elliott announced she would once again be seeking the leadership of the party for a second time. She had the support of at least 19 of the 28 caucus members, but lost to Brown on May 9, 2015, in a two-person race with 38% of the vote. She resigned her seat in the legislature on August 28, 2015, 1 week before Brown's election to the provincial parliament. Patient Ombudsman of Ontario. On December 10, 2015, she was appointed by Minister of Health and Long-Term Care Eric Hoskins as Ontario's first patient ombudsman effective as of July 1, 2016. The duties of the non-partisan position included acting on behalf of patients who have not had their issues resolved through normal complaint resolution processes. She said, "Ensuring that patients in Ontario's healthcare system will now have a strengthened voice is a responsibility I am looking forward to taking on." On February 1, 2018, Elliott resigned as patient ombudsman to enter the Ontario PC party leadership election. Brought to you by Wikivideo Documentaries. Would you like to know more?